Hey everybody, it's the top of the hour, but being as this is a comedy show and this is still technically a comedy theater, we're not starting right now. So grab yourself a snack and a drink and a blanket and something cozy, I don't know, and share out the link with your friends and family who might not already be in the stream. The Social Distancing Stand-Up Showcase will begin in about 2.5 minutes. Welcome to the virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Social Distancing Stand-Up Showcase. Please welcome to your screen your host, Skip Bacon.
Hello everybody, Merry Christmas! Welcome to the Christmas edition of the Social Distancing Comedy Showcase. It has been months and we have not shortened that. Jesse's given me a lot of opportunities to shorten it. I just haven't. One of the devices I have running over here has my voice feeding back to me on it. Personally, I love the sound of my own voice. That's why I do comedy. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for coming to the Christmas show. Jack and Dad mostly, and some other people also. I'm so glad you guys are here. So glad we're doing this. I got a really good Christmas lineup, some fan favorites from my friends, some very festive folks as well. And while I was getting in the mood for the show, kind of thinking about Christmas stuff, and we're not going to get to be around our families this year, so it got me thinking about all of my favorite Christmas memories from when I was a kid. And one of the most memorable Christmases in the Bacon household was the Christmas where, the reason it was really memorable was because it was a Christmas where most parenting rules just kind of broke down. Primarily parenting rule number 76 and number 142. For those of you that don't have kids, you probably don't even know what these are. I only know what they are because I broke them. Parenting rule number 76 is that basic rule where you just don't let your kids kill themselves or anyone else, primarily their siblings. So it's really more of like a sibling murder suicide rule. That's rule number 76. Rule number 142 is the sharing rule, the parent sharing rule. And children just can't be trusted to share. So you never put them in a situation where they have to share or it jeopardizes rule number 76. And in this particular Christmas instance, both of those rules really broke down. Usually at our house, it wasn't a big deal because our parents always ensured that we never had anything to share. Either like both of us got nothing, or each of us got like a smaller, cheaper version of the bigger, nicer thing we could have gotten if we knew how to share, which we didn't. And then in exchange, me and my brother didn't do a lot of stuff that would get us both killed. So usually things were fine in the Bacon household. But this particular Christmas, there was like a wrench in the gear, a traitor in our midst, a dink, and his name was John Anderson. And for those of you who don't know what a dink is a dual income, no kids individual. And our family dink was a man named John Anderson. And John Anderson, by no fault of his own, just really his dink nature, didn't know any of these parenting rules. So he came to this particular Christmas, and he brought with him the world's largest candy cane. Not two of the world's largest candy canes, the one world's largest candy cane. He put that sucker down on the kitchen table, patted us on our adorable little heads, and then headed into the living room to hang out with the rest of the family, putting into motion a series of events he could have never foreseen coming, because my brother and I immediately went about following rule number 76, which is sharing. We had to share this candy cane. So we immediately started working on ways to share the candy cane. Okay. So my brother picks up the candy cane, it's this thick, picks up the candy cane, he's holding it like this. And I get the sharpest pair of scissors that we have in the kitchen. I tell him to hold really still. I back way up because this candy cane was very thick, so I knew it was going to take a lot of momentum to cut through this candy cane. Back way up, come running at this candy cane my brother was holding so dutifully like this. And of course, if you know about candy canes, you know this didn't work. The scissors didn't cut through the candy cane at all. Instead, they slid sideways and sliced through my brother's thumb, only stopping once they hit his bone, which is when me and my brother remembered rule number 51, which is don't you get blood on that carpet. So I immediately and swiftly escorted my little brother into the bathtub. This is the only thing I could think of. We can't get blood on anything. I cannot let there be blood on anything. It's a big rule in most households. So I take my little brother. He's probably 8 to 10, somewhere in there. So I'm somewhere between 10 to 12. And I put him in the bathtub and I'm like, listen, easy peasy. We've got this. Just hold your thumb upside down over the drain until it stops bleeding. Eventually it'll run out and it'll just stop bleeding. And he's on board with this. And it's, rule number 51, don't get blood on any. So I'm holding it over the drain and he's slowly just gonna stop bleeding is my intention. About 25, 30 minutes later, John Anderson decides he has to go to the bathroom. He bursts into the room and sees my brother's face just white as a ghost, my face totally calm, trying to convince the dink he doesn't need to do anything. I've got this under control. He clearly doesn't know about the parenting rules. I can convince him of this. So I'm like, dude, don't, it's fine. We don't need to involve the authorities. He immediately escorts us both into the living room where my brother has to spend the rest of Christmas holding his thumb up over his head because we couldn't make it to the hospital because there was snow everywhere. So he has to spend the rest of Christmas holding his thumb up over his head. And then me and my dink John Anderson spend the rest of Christmas learning rules for dinks, which is of course a book my parents both wrote, now available on Amazon, so you don't have to deal with these problems about parenting and parenting for dinks. So that was my favorite Christmas memory. My brother is okay. I feel like I tell a lot of stories about my brother bleeding to death. He's totally fine. This was just one of our favorite Christmas memories. So I brought some other comedians on tonight to share Christmas with you, to share jokes with you, and I cannot think of a more festive individual to share with you than Mr. Robert Berry.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas! It's your old buddy Robert Berry, and I'm so glad that you're here today. I'd like to share some holiday cheer with y'all. Good stuff. Hey, folks, I want to tell you, I recently lost 85 pounds. My anorexic daughter died. Yeah. She would have wanted the show to go on, though. Life is precious. Let's live each day like it was the last. I know some of you may be getting together to celebrate with your families Christmas dinner. They're saying Christmas dinner is a super spreader event because your mom's going to be there. Oh! I bought my wife, I'll tell you, just don't tell her, did my Christmas shopping. I bought my wife a Coach purse. She's a big fan of Craig T. Nelson. I'll tell you that. You like this ugly sweater I'm wearing? It's got Cthulhu on it. It's pretty cool. I love it. But I tried to enter an ugly sweater contest, and I lost to Rudy Giuliani. He's about the ugliest sweater out there. So I just watched a JFK Christmas special. It's called the Grassy Noel. I just got I've been collecting some vintage Playboys. I found a 1975 Christmas edition of Playboy, and being from 1975, as you'd expect, all the trees are untrimmed in that issue. I've decided to support local businesses for Christmas this year. I've only been shopping at local businesses because I want to ensure my family gets shit they don't really want. That's what's going on there. I have been collecting a toy drive, but only for bad kids. It's a new program I have called Toys for Twats. I hope you like that there. I'm also I'm inventing a lot this holiday season. I've got eggnog flavored My Doll. Yeah, it's for menstrual Krampus if you get that there. But I love this time of year. You get to sing some songs. Christmas songs are some of my favorites. I like to sing some for you. Oh, you better watch out. 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 Yeah. Anyway. Oh, he's making a list. He's checking it twice. He checks it 25 more times. And then he spells it backwards and sorts it in reverse alphabetical order. Then he scrubs every doorknob in his house with a toothbrush in counterclockwise order. OCD Claus is coming to town. Yeah. In the meadow we can build a snowman, and we can pretend he's Parson Brown. He'll pull down my pants and then he'll touch me. Just like the real Parson Brown. Sorry, got a little personal there. I don't know. There's some crazy. That song, "Let It Snow," right? And there's a part in that song where they go, "Well, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping." Like, wow, I'm throwing this big Christmas party, and you brought over corn for popping. Let's see, Jimmy here brought over a brisket. He spent all day working on that. And Sally, she brought this homemade eggnog. And Julie brought some fruitcake. And someone made homemade cookies. You brought over corn for popping. That's just a notch above volunteering to bring napkins at the work potluck there. I don't know. Don't brag about that. Hey, baby, how about if I come over to your place? I brought some corn for popping. Stop calling me Orville Redenbacher. I don't know. How about Silent Night? That's an interesting song, right? Silent Night goes, it seems, there's a part in that song that always bothers me. It goes, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Tender and mild. That's a really weird way to describe a baby, right? Like if you show me a picture, hey, look at this picture of my baby, Robert, and I said, wow, that baby looks tender and mild. You'd think I was creepier than I already was, you know? I mean, tender and mild, that's not how you describe a baby. That's how you describe tasty barbecue. I mean, the last line of that song might as well be, meat falling right off the bone. Meat falling right off the bone. I don't know, they're attacking our the war on Christmas, folks. It's out there. Why? There's that song, "Baby, It's Cold Outside," and it's got its problems, right? I mean, You know the song. Guy's with a woman. It's cold outside. She wants to go home. She says, I really can't stay. But baby, it's cold outside. And she goes, no, I really can't stay. And they argue about this for quite a long time. And by the way, at one point in the song, she goes, hey, what's in this drink? Like, this may be the only Christmas song where someone gets a roofie slipped to them in the middle of it there. I mean, she by the end of the song, she's like, I just want to go home to my family. Please let me go. You know, it puts the lotion on the skin. I don't know. It's crazy. But, you know, that song, if it was politically correct, it would suck. I mean, I really can't stay. All right, good night. End of song. There's not much to it there. So, I mean, you know, got to take the good or the bad. But I mean, what's next? You know, you ban Baby It's Cold Outside from the radio. Like, oh, hey, Frosty the Snowman, that promotes witchcraft, you know, or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, kind of ableist, you know, let's not make fun of his disability. Away in a Manger, child endangerment. You should not be raising a kid in a stable. I mean, geez. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus totally promotes infidelity. Oh, Christmas Tree, not environmentally sustainable, you know. Holly Jolly Christmas, that's insensitive to people with seasonal depression. A little town of Bethlehem, that ignores the plight of the Palestinians completely. Do you hear what I hear? Hey, maybe if you're hearing impaired, you don't. That's not fair to sing that song. Or Here Comes Santa Claus may offend people with erectile dysfunction. But hey, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I love y'all. Thank you so much. It's been such a great year for everybody. God bless us, everyone.
That was Robert Berry. That was exactly what I was hoping for. I forgot to say, I never watched the pre-recorded sets because that would take all the fun out of it for me. That was exactly what I was hoping for. Like, if I could have dreamt it, that's what it would have looked like. There were menstrual Krampuses. I did feel a little personally attacked about the whole corn thing because I know that, like, Nick, Christina, and Damian, every time they invite me to Friendsgiving, I offer to bring the frozen corn, and they, like, whatever, you're going to want corn. Somebody's going to eat this. I'm going to eat it. I just felt really personally attacked. But aside from that personal attack, I'm never going to be able to hear the words tender and mild without thinking about a barbecued infant Jesus. Yeah, that's going to be in my head forever. I guess I get that, though, that's like what I get, because every time I talk about Jesus nipples, people are like, oh my God, Christmas is going to be so weird now. But for me, it's going to be weird now. So I'm going to be thinking about barbecued babies. Thank you, Mr. Robert Berry. Very funny individual, wildly inappropriate at every turn. Couldn't ask for more. Our next comedian I've never got to see perform before. This is her first time on this show. I am very, very excited to see her, unless I got the lineup wrong. But I think Jen Perez is next. I am right. It's Jen Perez. Give it up for Jen Perez, everybody.
Hey, hello. I'm Jen Perez. Trying to be all festive with my hat and my background. What do you know? I hope you enjoy it. Happy holidays. I'm a single person, and my grandma gave me an Olive Garden gift card. I don't know about you, but an Olive Garden gift card is a family restaurant. I'm a single person. Did you know that Olive Garden had a bar? If this wasn't pandemic times, do you know how sad it would have been to sit at a bar in Olive Garden and have endless bowls of pasta? So sad, ridiculously sad. You know what's the worst part? You can't even eat all of the value of the gift card in one sitting as a single person, which means you have to go back a second time. And if you decide, let's say, oh, I'm just gonna order some Olive Garden, by the time you get it to your house, it's just dog shit. It's just like a solid piece of, you might as well just heat up a Merry Calendar or whatever the fuck those TV dinners are and eat it. It's nasty. All right. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I moved out here to Oakland, California about 8 years ago. And I think I'm starting to become a basic bitch. I apologize. I apologize for the cultural appropriation. I drank a White Claw the other day. I took a shower in the washcloth. I didn't put any lotion on. I feel the need to apologize for my grandpa because he calls every white man he meets John. Doesn't understand English all that well. I know what you're thinking. I look a little bit like the Hispanic Tootsie. But some people say I look like Rosie Perez. Some people say I sound like her. All the money! You took all the money! Before all this pandemic, I discovered that I had a small hernia right behind my belly button. I was like, what am I gonna do? I have a hernia. So I decided to name it Barry, because he's buried in my belly. And my doctor, of course, his name is John. He told me, hey, listen, it's gonna cost you $2,000 to remove that hernia. All the money, John! You took all the money! Like I said, I'm from Jersey. And we fight about everything in Jersey. If you lose an argument in Jersey, they just throw you in the Hudson River. So I grew up tough. And when I moved to California, I kept fighting with all the homeless people. Like, I didn't know you could just walk away. Like, you people don't care here in California. You just say, he's harmless. Just keep walking. I just kept arguing. I was like, what did you say? What did you say? Because if that happens in Jersey, if you let someone talk to you like a basic bitch in Jersey, it's over. It's a done deal. It's bad news bears. Over. They just call you Bitchy McPeterson, and now that's your name. If you lose a fight in Jersey, they just call you Toon Row Betty or Karen done fucked up. Karen done fucked up. I used to be a Jets cheerleader. Yeah, it's surprising. I know I don't look like a cheerleader right now, but I used to be a Jets cheerleader. I thought when I got on the team, damn, I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna get to travel all of the U.S. I'm gonna get to meet the players. Maybe I'll bang some of the players. But no, that was not the case at all. Not the case at all. Actually, I've made more money doing comedy than I ever did on the Jets. I've made all of $12. The Jets roster isn't even worth $12. I'm divorced. It's actually a pretty bad story. I married a white guy for a green card, and he just divorced me. And every time we had to go to the immigration office, I had to say to the officer, hey, listen, the leprechaun over here to my left, he's the immigrant. I was born in Jersey. It's called reverse immigration. There was a pot of gold at the end of that marriage. Just pot, just a lot of pot. I don't know how this happens to me. How does this happen to me? My uncle has 8 fingers and 2 girlfriends. He left the 2 fingers in Cuba. He's slow. We call him tortuga. It means turtle. They didn't add enough seasoning when they made him. My grandma still cuts his steak for him. How is he in a polyamorous relationship? He can't even spell polyamorous. How does he have 2 people and I have none? How? My mom, she just found out that I do comedy. And it's awkward. It's awkward because she finds out every time we speak. She doesn't listen. It's hard having a mom that's not a grown-up. It's like being raised by your own personal bully. You know how parents catch their kids smoking cigarettes and they make them smoke a whole pack of Marlboro Reds? No, just me. It's probably just me. My mom made me do that. I was 10. I had to go to school smelling like a 40-year-old alcoholic. Marlboro Reds weren't even her brand. She smoked Virginia Slims. My mom is such a narcissist. She's so narcissistic. She made me repeat the 1st grade because she was jealous I could read. You know, she would act like she didn't know me every time a cute guy passed by, and she'd send me to the bodega to get some candy. One time, she left me in the car seat as a toddler, left me on a counter. I fell into the trash, And I had to stay there for 30 minutes because some cute guy passed by. Clearly, I have a terrible relationship with my mother. People feel sorry for me. They feel sorry for me sometimes because I look like I should be better off than I actually am. I tried to buy 2 bottles of whiskey at Target today, and the cashier asked me my age. And I said, I'm 36. And she said, oh, you look so young. I said, oh, it's because I've never had kids. And she says, oh, but don't you lose hope. You can still have kids. I said, ma'am, I lost hope 2 bottles ago. It's not happening. Not happening. Well, I don't got much else left. I'll leave you with this. Onwards, because a jackass pisses backwards. I'm Jen Perez. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Give it up for Jen Perez, everybody. That was hilarious. Thank you so much, Jen. I don't know. I guess I'm feeling a little personally attacked today. I didn't realize that those were white people showering things. Are we supposed to have washcloths? Does everybody know about this? Do we have to load? Like, yeah, a little personally attacked. Rethinking what I'm bringing for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I guess my entire beauty routine. Oh, but also, okay, so you guys aren't here. I can't see you in the front row. Usually when you're here, I can see you, and I can see some of you being like, I know what you're talking about. But what I can see is the other 2 comedians who are waiting on Zoom. And during this is my favorite part of the night so far. When Jen mentioned that you can't ever eat an entire gift card at Olive Garden in one sitting when you're a single person, Maddie, who's coming up later in the show, was looking down and went, that was a personal challenge, Jen. We definitely can and have done that. So thank you, Jen Perez. Thank you, Maddie, for making that also really fun. We're going to bring up your next comedian who I've written in my Lisa Frank. Here we go. Guys, it's not just the next comedian. His name is Luke Soyan, but we're going to start calling him my friend Jesse's future husband. Like, we're not going to start doing that. Jessie started doing that. She's a huge fan of his, but he is really awesome and hysterical. You can watch his videos on, like, YouTube. He's got a channel. It's called Epic Tiki. It's hilarious. His vlogs are stupid. Is hilarious. Also, his dog is precious. It's Luke Soyan.
Hey guys, keep it going for Skip Bacon, your host. She's fantastic. I'm Luke Soyan. She probably just said that. What's up, guys? We got a vaccine coming out. That's very, very cool. Anyone? I would usually ask people at this point, anyone getting the vaccine? And then you guys would say, yes, no, whatever you would say. Personally, I don't want to get it right away. I want to wait till they work all the autism out of it. You know, can you get autism when you're in your 30s? I don't know. I just want to make sure that I don't get it. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a postcard that President Trump sent out at the beginning of the pandemic back in March. It was some people didn't get it. I think a lot of people got it, but also a lot of people didn't. It was kind of weird. It was very shitty. So, like, if you didn't get this postcard, it said it was called President Trump's Guidelines for Coronavirus in America, something like that. And it looked like a really shitty PowerPoint presentation slide. You know, it was just like blue and white and gray and had some writing on it, and it was just not executed well. And it was actually kind of funny because the first thing it said on there was follow your state and local guidelines, which is kind of like just being like, hey, here's this card, don't read it, do what someone else says. That'd be like if you guys came to this live stream and then I was like, as soon as I started my set, I was like, okay, now open a browser window, type in Netflix, log into your account, and then search Dave Chappelle and just watch that. That's what that is like. It's really bad. And then, yeah, so it wasn't a very good postcard. And, you know, it also wasn't very helpful because, honestly, everything on there was copied and pasted from the CDC's website, you know, so it's not even like he was trying very hard. He was just like, you know, I mean, like, who doesn't do that in college? But, you know, when you're the president, I feel like, you know, you should write your own essay. I don't know. And so I just thought that was funny. But I wish it was more personal for me. You know, like, that would have made it more useful to me. You know, because right before the pandemic, my girlfriend broke up with me. So I was sad, single, alone, you know, and it's like, I kind of wish it would have said something about that, you know, like, the postcard told me where I can cough. It didn't tell me where I could cry. You know what I mean? It's like, do I cry into my arm or into my pillow? Like, what's more, what's more clean? What's not? What's more? I don't know the word. Stand up. Here we go. Yeah, and it's like, it said on the postcard, it said, don't touch your face. Well, then how am I supposed to wipe tears away? It wasn't tailored to me, and I just kind of feel like it could have been, and it was just a missed opportunity. It's been a while since my dad has come to any of my comedy shows, which, kind of sucks, but, he's dead, so I guess that's a good enough reason to not come. And yeah, it's okay. Don't be sad. Everyone's always sad for me, which you're supposed to do. Like, I get it. But I'm like, my name is Luke, and people always are like, Luke, I am your father. And I've heard it enough times. Also, you're not my father. I know he's dead. I saw him in the coffin. Okay, so anyways, this is dark. So that's the joke there. But yeah, he was a clean freak. A lot of, I feel like he's missing out on his Super Bowl right now. It kind of sucks for him. What I like to do when I visit his grave is, instead of bringing flowers, I bring a little bottle of Purell. And I just leave it there on the gravestone and go, haha, you can't reach it, Because it's kind of ironic that he was a clean freak and now he's surrounded by dirt. It's poetic. So that's fun. And yeah, I also feel like, when he died, it's like he crashed on the freeway late at night. Is the whole thing, But I kind of can't help but wonder, now that we're in the middle of this pandemic, maybe he was just, trying to social distance before anyone else. Like maybe he was just ahead of the game. Because they tell you 6 feet. They don't tell you what direction to go 6 feet in. 6 feet under is still 6 feet. So I think he was just innovating. I think my dad was an innovator, and that's pretty cool. So this is about 5 minutes. So I don't know. I could do like a couple more jokes here. I'm just going to do one more. This is an older one that I found, so I'm kind of reading it. But I was thinking about the Last Supper recently, and I found out the real reason they called it the Last Supper is because that's just when they started calling it dinner. All right, that part's stupid. But I do think it's a little silly to call it the Last Supper, because it was only one guy's Last Supper, Like, the rest of them had to have supper the next, like, Friday. They had to have it the next day. They're all sitting around the table like, wow, last night, that got out of hand real quick. That was, it really got crazy there for a minute, didn't it, I also I feel like Jesus' story wouldn't work now the same way it did back then, because when they killed people back then, they would do brutal stuff, like he got crucified. Like, that's really intense, and like, it took hours for him to die. He's hanging up, like, it's awful, right? But now it would be like, oh, did you hear the good word, or the word? Jesus died for our sins. And then they'd be like, well, how did he die? And then you'd be like, lethal injection? And they'd be like, that's not very impressive. Like, it doesn't hurt. You just kind of slip off into nothing. Like, it's not the same. It's just not the same. Oh man. Yep. Yeah, and he got like a nice steak dinner probably before. That's different, because before you get crucified, you might get some bread. And then if you get water at all, it's just from people throwing mud at you. So that's, I don't know. Okay. That is my jokes. I have so many more to work on. But, I don't want to take too much time. I've been Luke Soin. Thank you so much. Please follow me at Epic Tiki Comedy on Twitter, at Epic Tiki on Instagram. Let me give it back to Skip Bacon. Thank you.
There you go, everybody. It's Luke Soin. You can see why Jesse's so into him, right? Also, I just want to point out that Luke, some people don't like recording their sets and sending them in. It's a blank screen. You can't hear or see anyone laughing. Very similar to an open mic in a lot of instances. But to try and alleviate that kind of apprehension that people have, some comedians have said, hey, maybe we could like Zoom and I could tell you some of my jokes. I'm not sure I'm a great barometer for that because of the things I will laugh at, which are like a lot of things, particularly puns, and everyone knows that. But Luke this week was like, yeah, let's do that. So he ran through all these jokes with me. And he's like, got it. Those were none of the jokes. That was not a single one of the jokes, except for the joke about the Last Supper, which I realized he told me that joke and I didn't laugh at it because I didn't get it. He meant like Last Supper, meaning they just started calling it dinner after that. So it was the Last Supper. Just got that right now. So that's where I am. Also, like some of the comments for Luke, somebody commented, so Luke's getting a little dark today. So for those of you that know Luke, that's as dark as it gets. He's hysterical. Make sure you follow him. At the end of the show, we'll put up everybody's information so you can follow everybody because they have some pretty funny stuff out there. But in the meantime, we're going to bring up Becky Lynn. I'm going to go over there so I can see Becky Lynn and watch this comedy. I love Becky Lynn. Here's Becky Lynn.
Hey, that's me. I'm Becky Lynn. Oh my gosh, you guys. Wow, it feels so good to be here in my office at home, where I prefer to do comedy and would like to do it for the rest of my life because this is where my beer and snacks live. You guys, I've never been like a big fan of Christmas time, of the holidays. It's just like not for me. I didn't really have like the greatest Christmases growing up, like not because of like shortage of like gifts or anything like sad in that way. I just don't like it. I don't fuck with it. It's a lot of drama. You know, I was too young to drink back then, so it just left a lot of like a poor taste in my mouth. But usually when I tell people that, I get like a lot of the response I get is usually like, oh, but what about snow? What about Santa? What about the magic of Christmas? These are always the responses that I get when I, tell people that I don't like Christmas. You know what response I never get? Nobody's ever like, but what about Jesus? Which I think is like a huge statement about like America and how we are so, it's just like wild to me. The literal reason for the season, and nobody ever in my 31 years of life has felt the need to be like, yeah, but but the sun, right? Like that matters, right? Which should be the most offensive part. Right? Because imagine yourself sitting at home and me just going up to you and being like, I don't like your birthday. I don't like it. It just doesn't do it for me. Like, it's so rude, but nobody seems to have a problem with that. That's just my observation on America. No, there wasn't really any humor with that. Just a thing I've been thinking about. This has been an interesting year. My boyfriend and I just purchased our first home in the middle of a pandemic because we thought that saving money would be a silly idea. And so we're in this home. It's changed some things for me, especially like what I've noticed the most is that my targeted ads on Instagram have changed drastically, right? Because the majority of what I was seeing before was just like a lot of different types of body wash and vibrators, a lot of sex toys. And today, like before this show, I got a targeted ad from Nordstrom for a rabbit. And I was like, oh, okay, we're back on track. Like things are okay. And then I clicked on it and it was a fucking wine corkscrew. And it hurt my feelings. Adulthood is just like a weird thing that I'm going through right now. I've actually been going through it for a while, but I guess I'm just like settling in. I've been working from home. I know that there are a lot of people that are working from home, and it's been an experience. It truly has, because who else is working from home is my boyfriend. And I thought that this was going to be fun. I was like, oh, this is gonna be really hot. Like, this is the stuff of fantasies. Like, we're gonna fuck on our lunch breaks. This will be a good time. We're gonna get through this together, closer. And I was wrong. I was very wrong. You guys know the guy at your office that used to make way too much small talk with other people and always cooked fish in the microwave in the break room? That guy is my coworker now, and he lives in my house. So this is fun. If you knew the amount of money that I've spent on like Bath and Body Works wallflowers just to like eliminate the smell of trout here, it's insane. No, I'm not going to show you. I keep wanting to turn Zoom shows into like show and tell and just pull stuff out and be like, look at this new thing that I've spent money on, but I don't want people to know how reckless I am. You guys, I always knew that I was going to be a performer. I knew from a really young age. My father used to turn like old refrigerator boxes into pretend TVs that I could like climb inside and act stuff out in. I'm not sure if anybody at home was also a lonely child, but that was like a big theme in my house. And I knew that I could trap my dad in the garage and make him watch me do shit in the TV, right? Not weird stuff, just kid shit. That doesn't sound better. But I would, give him like a 6-pack of Coors Light and a lawn chair, and we were like good to go. So I'd make a scratch piece of cardboard into a remote control. I'd throw it over to him and be like, hey, Dad, turn on the TV. You're going to love this. So we did. And I don't know if anybody has ever like tried to vie for the love and adoration of their father. But if you have, and you're a natural born entertainer, you know that you can have 3 strong acts. So I started with a song, okay? I sang my ABCs. It was a fucking hit. We were off to a wonderful start. So I was like, Dad, change the channel. The next one, also pretty good. So he changes the channel. I act out a scene from my favorite movie, okay, from The Lion King, right? I was like, Simba, don't go there, or whatever the fuck he says. And then I was like, okay, Dad, last one. This one's my favorite. So he changes the channel, and there is a 5-year-old me just tugging a glove on my hand, repeating, if the glove don't fit, you must quit. And look, all I'm saying is I'm just a very socially aware child. I always have been. All right. And I'm sure some of you at home are like, is this what we're doing now in 2020? We're telling OJ Simpson jokes. And my response to that is like, at this point, I don't think there are any rules anymore. So yeah, this is what we're doing. And I challenge someone else on the show to write a Lorena Bobbitt joke. Let's bring back the hit. This is fun. I stopped reading the Twitch comments, so that's probably for the best. The chat, I don't need that feedback. You guys, I was born to much older parents. I'll elaborate. My parents were 50 when I was born, and I'm 30 now, so I'll give you guys a little bit of time to do the math. That means that if my parents were 50 and I'm 30, that this year my parents are dead. They're dead. And Merry Christmas. Look, growing up with older parents, it's a lot like buying like marked down groceries, okay? You know that you need to enjoy them while they're still good because the expiration date is right around the corner. You just gotta have a lot of hustle all the time. So real thing. And, I'm just very mindful. But like I had like a good run. I had a good run. We had a good run. They were a very delightful group of people. Sure, they were, they're white. I should mention that because I am adopted. I'm adopted. And honestly, just like give it up for me for finding my forever home. Like, what an honor. It should have been clear that they were white when I said the Coors Light reference earlier. But I do think that when I think about my parents, because they were 50 when they adopted me, and they already had 4 children, 4 biological children, and 3 grandchildren. Okay. And usually when I tell people that, they're like, oh, wow. And they have so much love left to give. And I don't fucking buy it. I really don't. Because look, it doesn't add up to me, right? Like, I just can't understand why an, at the time, reasonably healthy couple would give up their best casino going years to deal with puberty for a 5th time. It just doesn't make sense. Right? But I've recently come into a lot of time to think about it, and I'm pretty sure I figured it out. Pretty sure I've cracked the case, folks. My parents' biological children, bless them. I love them for the most part, but they are troubled. And, for a variety of different reasons. They suffer from addiction, mental illness, conservatism, and I think that my parents were just trying to like figure out how much of that was biologically their fault. So that's sort of been like my 2020 gift to myself, was just realizing that my childhood was a nature versus nurture case study. It's fun. I won't get in because I'm running out of time, but I'll end on this. I won't really talk too much about my parents' deaths because those jokes are funny, but we don't have the time. But I will tell you this story. After my mother passed away, I wasn't super upset. Like, I didn't cry a lot. I was sort of like very at peace with it, which made me very uncomfortable. And at that time, I was very good friends with a mortician who's also dead now because my life has recurring themes. And he and I were like discussing how I was feeling, right? That I just like wasn't super upset. And he explained to me that oftentimes people, specifically children of like chronically ill parents that they know will die soon, go through the process of grief very early. It's a phenomenon known as pre-mortem grief. And look, you guys, I just want you to know that like the daughter in me felt very guilty about this, right? The daughter in me felt so bad. But when I tell you, like the procrastinator in me was like so relieved that I got it out of the way. Like, wow, you know, so much time to do other things. That's my time. I've been Becky Lynn. Thank you so much. Let's shoot it back to your host.
That is Becky Lynn. I told you she was funny. I just can't not get enough of that. I also found out that not only does her life have reoccurring themes, I think the theme of the show tonight might be dead parents. I don't, you know, Christmas. Super, super glad we had her on here. Also, do you guys know what the wallflower things are, right? They're those things you plug in the wall from bed. What is it? Bath Works? What's it called? Bath and Body Works? I knew Jesse would know.
Bath and Body Works.
There you go. Yeah, Bath and Body Works. And you plug them into the wall. And now, like, I've seen a million commercials for them, but now all I can see, like, commercial-wise, is one of those fighting a trout, because that's all I'm going to be able. I'm like, oh, it can fight trouts. That's how good they are. I have some of those. It can't fight Pomeranian smells, but that's on me. Also thank you for telling Jesus jokes. Christmas time, we didn't get any Jesus jokes, but per your joke about Jesus not getting brought up at Christmas, I don't know how we haven't gotten any Jesus. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm so glad that Becky Lynn is here. We'll put her information up too because she does lots of comedy things comfortably from her home, which I hope she gets to do for a long time. I'm also, gosh, I guess I didn't realize how much I was going to learn about myself is the fact that I like Coors Light because I'm white. It might be. So my showering habits and my drinking habits as a white person. I'm learning a lot about myself tonight, so thank you for that. Oh, you know what else hasn't come up tonight? This should have been a reoccurring theme. So during last time's show, no one mentioned how good I looked. So usually that happens right about this time of the show. Somebody's like, girl, you look so cute. And I'm like, oh, that's the second reason I do comedy. And it didn't happen last time. So I put on a real bra this time and a Christmas outfit's a skirt. I don't know. I'm wearing my sparkle boots. You can't see them, but I'm wearing my sparkle boots. So I'd like some Twitch comments about how adorable I am. Got new shampoo. It's super shiny. I don't know. Pick something. Pick anything. I look amazing. These people are super funny. They make me shine. I'm glowing. Talk about it. All right. Think about those comments after you hear our next comedian who's probably ready right now, Robert Emoto.
Happy holidays, everybody. Okay. I'm not sure that's how I want to open up because that's not how I would normally talk. And I'm not even sure if I'm the first comic you've seen tonight. But give it up for the other comics you've seen, if you have seen other comics, and clap. If not, then welcome to the show, because I'm the first comic of the evening, or whatever time they're playing this. I got to tell you something, man. Before this whole COVID thing happened, okay, I got to air something out, get something on my chest. My office was having a potluck, okay, which I already don't like, because I don't like seeing people that happy about something that annoys me, because, like, somebody always walks in, like, look who brought their famous macaroni salad. Like, shut up. Like, no one's eating that. Like, why are you walking in that happy anyway? I don't like that little, like, the shoulder movement thing. It makes me upset. But anyways, my unit was small. We were just going to have, like, a little unit one, like 5 people. And they said, go to the store and get something, all right, whatever, like fruit or whatever. I was like, I'll get a pie. I'll get dessert or something. So I went, and it was half pies were on sale, okay? And I was like, you know what? I should probably get 3 halves, right? That'd be enough for everyone. And the person I was with was like, it's way too many. Just get 1 half. Like, you're not going to eat one. And it's like, I'm not going to eat one, so, like, that's plenty. So I listened, okay? I trusted her. I brought a half pie. I didn't even go to the potluck because I had to leave work early. A bunch of other units show up and other people, and they came over, and they went straight for the pie. And they're like, who only brought half a pie? Like, why would you only bring half a pie? And they all said, oh, Robert brought the half pie. But they didn't say that I was going to bring more pie, and I only thought that it was only supposed to be for our unit. They just said that I brought half a pie. So now I look like a maniac. Like, what type of person would bring a half a pie to a potluck where there'd be a lot of people? And that's not what I was going to do. I was going to bring 3 halves, which is a pie and a half. Okay? That's plenty. That would have been plenty for everybody. And I was going to put it in separate dishes because actually that would look weird, right, if I have 3 halves I think I would have just put them in different plates and then cut them already. So then you're just like, oh, someone already took the other. He obviously brought 2 pies, and then somebody already ate the other half, because nobody would bring a pie and a half, because that'd be weird too. I think I'm a little bit upset, okay, because I've been thinking about things that I don't want happening, and I want some things to stop happening, okay? And number 1 on that list is just people standing outside of grocery stores with clipboards, okay? It makes me mad. I don't care what your cause is. Right? I don't know if you're trying to get me to vote or to support something, but I don't like you holding a clipboard. It's like I got to make up some excuse to put headphones in, act like I'm not listening to you, or act like I'm on the phone, and it just makes me uncomfortable before I even get into a place that I probably don't want to be in the first place, okay? I've never once stopped and had the clipboard be a good thing. So, and I don't know why you're standing out there anyway. Like, why? That's like a door-to-door type thing. Like, why are you still doing that? Second thing I want people to stop doing is standing out, dressing up as like the character in a movie and waiting outside the premiere. And I know up until this thing hit, people were still doing that. Okay, and that makes me mad. Okay, like if you dress up like a wizard, right, and you have like a wand and or a big stick, and you and your friend, and he's dressed up as like a goblin, and you make a day out of it, and you go out and wait in line. Okay, that makes me mad because there's 2 of you. One of you just should have said, hey, maybe this isn't a good, as you're putting like the green paint on your face, right, and those pointy shoes, like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. And he's like playing with his beard. He's like, you know what, you're right. I'm 45 years old. Why are we doing this? So that makes me mad, okay? And the last thing I want people to stop doing is encouraging their significant others to chase their dreams. And here's the reason, too, is because I have been in way too many coffee shops, okay, and seen a bunch of shitty art. And I know on the other side of that painting, okay, is there some supportive girlfriend telling her man he's going to make it and that he should continue, he's getting better, and this is the grind part, you got to push through it. And it's like, no, he should stop. Okay, this watercolor sucks, and you need to tell him to his face. You be like, hey, you're not good at this. If you don't stop this nonsense, I'm going to leave you. And that's what should happen. And then you go date his best friend who's like more successful, then that'll push him to become a better person, and like he'll end up getting his college degree, which would make his family proud. I was watching a documentary on Jeffrey Epstein, and my cousin was looking at the island. He's like, dude, how you even buy an island? He's like, I want to buy an island. That'd be dope. And I'm like, first of all, you think you're getting an island like that? Like you have like $1.5 thousand. You're not getting that island. Like you're getting an island where like there's an oil spill and the seagulls are getting washed up with a bunch of oil on them, and they're like people are cleaning them off with towels. Or there's syringes like getting washed up on or you're just getting like a pile of sand and like one palm tree, and then during the high tide, it just washes over the island. Like you don't ever actually get to stand on it. I think I'm getting a little stressed out. Okay, I'm gonna propose this weekend, and I've been going and engagement ring shopping, and it's kind of nice because I got a set price in my head of like what I want to spend. If she deserves it, but every day that she keeps nagging me, I'm just subtracting the price in my head, you know? And it's only been a week, and this bitch is about to get a mood ring, okay? Like, that's what's about to happen. Thank you, guys. That's been my time. I appreciate you for tuning in. I don't know if you tune in to something like this. Isn't on the radio. So thank you for clicking on this, and have a good night.
There he is, everybody. Robert Emoto, also pointing out that I might be a clipboard schmuck. Am I the only person who goes up to those people with clipboards just because I like talking to people? I'm like, what's up? What's in your clipboard? Oh, no, it's not something cool. You're right. It's a total scam. We could still be friends, though. Like, I literally had that conversation at the mall once. Somebody was starting with a clipboard, and I was like, you seem super cool. And I have the ability to tell when I can be friends with someone because they're a human, and I just know right away because they have a face. And yeah, I constantly am getting suckered because I want to talk to someone. If you have a clipboard, you probably want to talk to me too. And I'm a schmuck for it. That's like a super bummer for me. Also, I want to point out this thing. Okay, lots of you have been watching comedy with us for a while now. And sometimes we have some of the same comedians because they're my favorite and I get to book the show. So I have some of the same people on over and over again. Now, there's this phenomenon that I didn't know about until I started doing comedy, where I had seen a comedian. I'm not going to tell you which particular ones I'm talking about, but this idea of like a girlfriend dumping you, like really helping your art progress, is 100% real. Like, I had seen a comedian a bunch of times. He had good jokes. I really liked him. Like 3 months go by, I haven't seen him. He comes back on stage. He's super fit. His clothes look amazing. He got a new haircut. His jokes are fire and they are brand new. And I was like, what is up with him? And they're like, oh, his girlfriend dumped him. And apparently it's like a widely known fact about artists, comedians of the like, that when their girlfriends dump them, this is just a scientific fact. They get better. So that's real, Robert. That's super real. Sorry you had to learn about that the hard way, comedian I'm talking about. But now I feel like there's 18 comedians who think I'm talking about them. Anywho, doesn't matter. You're better for it. Your jokes are on fire. Get back together with her or don't. I don't care. So our next comedian is amazing. She's a show favorite. I'm pretty sure she was on our Christmas show last year. I think she was on her Christmas show last year. I have her on a lot of my shows because everyone requests her, and she's very funny. And here's an interesting fact about her. Her mom and I just became friends on Facebook, and I'm like super stoked about it. Hey, Denise, what's up? We should meet up for like drinks and coffee or whatever. Super excited about my new best friend, Denise, and her amazing and hysterical daughter, Maddie Nishimi.
I'm glad that my mom can make you so pleased with a Facebook friend request. And also, I have to say that you look cute because I heard nobody said that to you. So you look cute. I got some new jokes tonight. We'll see if they go horribly. I'm very afraid of spiders, very afraid of them. And when I find them in my house, it's horrible because I have to kill them and I panic so much. And I know that there's crazy people who like take the spiders outside in a little cup and save their lives. But that's insane. I could not muster the courage to carry a spider any amount of distance in any container, no matter how secure. So I'm gonna kill them. But this brings up a whole new problem, which is what do I do with them once they're dead? Because I don't want to throw them away, because what if I needed to stomp on them 28 times instead of 27 and they come back to life? And we can't just flush them down the toilet either, because again, what if they come back to life down there and then they crawl up my butthole? And the other problem is, if these spiders come back to life, they're gonna be pissed at me for trying to kill them. So they're gonna wanna bite me. And they're probably radioactive spiders. I mean, they survived being stomped on and flushed down me. So now I'm the new Spider Woman, and I can't do that. Look at me. I am not meant to be protecting people. And also, Uncle Ben is always talking about that great responsibility. I can't do that. I barely feed myself on a regular schedule. Nobody is picking the girl who's eating Oreos for breakfast to be a superhero. The other problem is, if I'm Spider-Woman, I probably can't have Twitter because, I gotta like protect my identity. And if I can't have Twitter, what is this even all about? Now I know what you guys are thinking now. How many mental illnesses does this girl have? And to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't really ask my psychiatrist for extra diagnoses. But what I do know is when I told my therapist about about these thoughts, he said I should come in the next day. So, doing well there. Moving on. In the quarantine, I've been watching a lot of Top Chef. It's been my show of choice. And it's a fun show, it's a good time. But I noticed that one of the things that the judges say often is that a contestant's food lacks point of view or has good point of view, which is ridiculous because food does not have a point of view. It's food, which is what you were all thinking. We're wrong, all right? Food does have a point of view. And I'll give you some examples. The Quesarito from Taco Bell, they believe in the legalization and decriminalization of marijuana. Granola bars, they support the Green New Deal and they take all of their first dates hiking. But the best really are microwave dinners because they're all divorced alcoholics and the only thing they believe in is pain. I've been not, a lot of people haven't been a lot of sex, I can say words. A lot of people haven't been having a lot of sex right now because, we're in the pandemic. I'm in the same boat. I'm not in a relationship. But it's okay because my policy on sex is the same as my policy on being killed. If no one's going to do it for me, I'll just do it myself. I spend a lot of time thinking about my funeral, but I only think about what people are going to say. So I think it's a little more narcissistic than suicidal. You guys don't need to worry. But I think about what people are going to say, and I want my funeral to be funny, because sad funerals are just a bummer, you know, like who wants to be sad about somebody being dead? But I want my funeral to be funny. So I came up with a great idea, which is I want my funeral to be a roast. And this is the best idea anyone in history has ever had, and nobody can convince me otherwise. And I love it so much that I've written some roasts that you guys can all use for me once I'm dead. So if I'm killed in a shooting, you can say, Maddie wasn't much for drinking, but you know, if you're gonna die, it's good to go out with a shot. And if I'm killed by suffocation and my murderer wants to come forward during the funeral, they can say, you know, Maddie was great. She really took my breath away. So I had to do the same for her. And then my sister, I wrote one specifically for her because, you know, she should speak at my funeral, I think. So her roast for me is, I once went skiing with Maddie, and on the way down the hill, she started crying. It was then that I knew she would die an early death. Those are all my roasts. I have one more joke for you before I get out of here. 2020 has been a crazy year. Crazy, a lot of things happening. And it's a lot like the movie It's a Wonderful Life, you know? At the beginning, I wanted to kill myself, and at the end, it was Christmas. That's what I've got for you guys tonight. Thank you, and have a good holiday season.
Such a good one. Yeah. I also hate that movie. So at the end of that movie, I kind of wish I was dead. Also, but I love that joke. That was such a good joke. She's the last comedian of the night. That was a perfect last joke of the night for our Christmas show. Me and Denise will talk about how much fun we had at the show later. Thank you so much, Maddie. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and being on our Christmas show. Very excited. There are people in California. There are people in Iowa. There are people in Illinois. Definitely some Hoosiers in Indiana. There are people all over, my friends and family, who are very, very happy to be able to share some of my favorite comedians with them. So thank you, comedians, for coming on tonight. I am so happy you're here. At the end of the show, we'll make sure, or maybe it's already up there, put up all their information so you can follow them. Jen's got shows. Becky Lynn's doing shows. You can see these guys anytime. They're hysterical. I'll have them back on. Don't worry. Like, I saw your messages to me on my phone. You guys know I'm in the middle of a show right now, but you send me a lot of messages anyway. I promise I will have them back on, because they are very, very funny. God, those spider truth jokes just hit me real. I thought I was the only one who thought the spider would come out of the toilet. That was like a legitimate fear for me. Gosh, Maddie, I might have some own issues to work. Oh, man. This has just been a real self-revelation kind of evening. So thank you so much to all the comedians for coming on tonight. Oh, you know what, guys? Is there still time for people to buy merch before Christmas?
I mean, yeah.
Do you want to come over here and show them the merch? You don't have to show them a picture. You can just walk over here. He's beautiful. Give it everybody. Look at Jesse. Look how good he looks in that merch. Just show him the. I'm not that short. Show him the back. Yeah, look at that sweet back. Yeah, merch got back. Merch got mad back. You can get some merch for Christmas. Or if you'd like to give Stab a little Christmas present, you can give to them. Their Venmo's on there. All those comedians you saw tonight, you could give them a little Christmas present too. Their Venmo's are on there. Thank you so much for coming tonight. This was really fun. I cannot wait to do it again. Thank you especially to the comedians we had in the Zoom room. That was really fun. I loved having like a 3-person audience. I hope we get to do that again too. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Skip Bacon. Thank you, Jesse Jones and Stab Comedy Theater, our lovely audience and comedians. Thank you so much. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you all for hanging out tonight. Of course, thank you to Skip Bacon and the whole crew. Let me bring it up again one more time before we leave so that you can see all of their information. One more time, the curtain call. There it is. Thank you to Skip, Robert, Barry Inamoto, Maddie, Luke, Jen, and Becky. Check them out there. And check us out again later. That's it for us for the evening. But you can come and join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. for the Suzette Benetti Show, or check the calendar, the full calendar of events at stabcomedytheater.com. Or if you're on Twitch, just scroll down, and the upcoming week's worth of events are right below. And if you're not on Twitch, why not join us on Twitch? You guys are all over the place tonight. We appreciate it. Wherever you watch this, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you saw us. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see where we can send you to keep your comedy night going. See, this is the benefit if you're on Twitch. I'm sending our audience over to another comedy channel. Let's send you to Comedy Hub if they're not done. I want to make sure that I'm not sending you to a channel that's done. No, Comedy Hub looks like they've got... unless Grace Young is the headliner, in which case it looks like she's up now. Oh, all right. It's always tough. How about Comedy Sports? Comedy Sports Chicago? I can't tell if they're done either. It looks like they might be. I'm going to send you to Comedy Hub. If they're done, well, tough. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 5, or check us out whenever you're able. Full calendar of events, stabcomedytheater.com. You already heard me say that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Good night.
Hey.